All right, I think we can get started. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name is Tanner Watt. I'm a municipal program specialist with local authority services. We'll be hearing today from Exprolink Madvac. They're one of the vendors we have available to supply street cleaning equipment under the Canoe Procurement group. We launched Canoe about 2.5 years ago now to help municipalities out with the purchasing that they need to do, help save time, help save money on all the products and services that you're using all the time. We currently have about 200 contracts available across 48 categories. Anything from paper clips to fire trucks is available through Canoe. So I've got a couple of people joining with me today to help present. We've got George Bailey, who's the Sales and Marketing Manager with Exprolink Madvac. We've also got Simon McClendon joining us. He's the Client Relations Manager with Canoe. He joined us a few months ago, and he will be taking over as the main go-to person for the Canoe group in Ontario. So a couple of little housekeeping notes. We are recording the webinar. We'll be sending out a follow-up email this afternoon with a link to the video archive if you want to pass that around, and contact information as well for George and Simon. After George's presentation, we'll have an open Q&A. For that, we'll use the Q&A function built into Zoom. So at the bottom of your screen, there's a little Q&A box. If you have any questions as we're going through, type those in. And we'll answer those at the end. So with that, that was all I have to say. So I'll hand it off to George.
Thank you, Tanner. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for your time and attention and listening to this little presentation that I've prepared for you relative to our line of compact sweepers and litter vacuum vehicles. I figure my presentation should take approximately 15-20 minutes, so it will not be long, to the point. And following that, if you have any questions, I will try my best to answer those questions. If ever you ask me something that I'm unable to answer, I will find a way to get the information and communicate it back to you. Okay. As you see on the cover screen of this presentation, our company is in the field of compact sweepers and litter vacuum vehicles, either gas, diesel, or electric. We will review quickly each of these machines, and I will also indicate, as will be shown in the presentation, approximate pricing for these units. About Madvac and Exprolink, to clarify this, I'm sorry, the Madvac name has been around for actually more than 35 years. It's a very well-known name in the industry. And the short version need to know is that in 2011, the company Exprolink, the company I work with, purchased the Madvac line. We're located in Montreal. And since that time, we are the company, the only company, of course, that builds, delivers, and distributes the Madvac equipment, whether it be in Canada, the US, or around the world. We have an established network of dealers, again, throughout Canada, the US, and worldwide. And we've already, of course, engaged and worked over the years with a number of municipalities across the country, some of which are in Ontario, of course. Okay. The topic of litter, a topic that never seems to go away. There's litter everywhere. There's more and more litter in urban centers. And of course, the drawbacks, the consequences of this litter is always very, very present. So clearly, as this slide shows, and you know, there are quite a number of drawbacks to litter, depending on the environment, the quantity of litter, and everything else. It's definitely something that's a sore eye for any city. Not to mention, of course, the impact with regards to natural resources, city infrastructure, and so on and so forth. So this problem is there. It doesn't go away. It can only get worse to some degree. And so clearly, everyone has a vested interest in trying to find solutions to minimize the negative impact of this litter for everyone in the environment. Okay. Our machines are small units, so we are not in the field of street sweepers. When you exclude roads Where do you find litter? Pretty much everywhere. Parking lots, sidewalks, parks, alleys, so on and so forth. How is this litter typically removed? This slide shows what most or many municipalities tend to use as method for removing off-road litter. Clearly, number one, manual litter picking, always present in many municipalities and still utilized a lot. Clearly, it's time consuming, managing staff, one piece of litter at a time being picked. So that's one way it's done. The second way, you're using a small walk behind unit to collect this litter, which some people use. Of course, it has its limitations. And again, you have someone that is physically walking to be able to operate this type of litter removal method. Another option is to blow the litter, which is also commonly done. So you're going to displace the litter using air from one location to another. Typically, you'll blow that onto the street and then collect that with a sweeper or other piece of equipment. And the fourth scenario is using water, using a small vehicle and water to basically clear up the surface. And again, you're basically displacing the litter. So these are the most commonly used methods of removing off-road litter in many municipalities. And the Madvac line of equipment is there to propose an alternative and, in our opinion, safer and more efficient method of litter removal. Okay. This is why, as indicated on this slide, our machines can be used in all of these areas that I was mentioning before, where street sweepers or other big pieces of equipment can't necessarily or easily access or manage. So this is the niche, the positioning of the Madvac line of equipment. Need to know, all the units are built in Montreal. It's significant to mention this. We are one of the rare companies that's in this niche. We do have competitors. Almost all of them are overseas. And so in working with us, you're dealing with a manufacturer that's here in Montreal. We are very, very open to visitors and anyone who is interested in coming to see us, visiting our production line, meeting our management team. You're more than welcome. Just let me know. All our machines are easy to operate. You don't need a CDL, and they're designed for poor climate conditions. You can run any Madvac machine in rain conditions, stuff like that. And of course, our machines can easily collect litter that's dry, humid, or wet, so there's no problem there. And of course, you have dust control elements. So we're very sensitive not only to removing the litter, but also being sensitive to the fact that you do not want to create a negative side effect with regards to quality of air. And of course, all our equipment can be purchased through our Sourcewell Canoe Procurement awarded contract. So let's have a look at these machines. The first one I'd like to show you is the LP61G. This is a portable litter vacuum skid mount. So as you look at the photo, you see the small vacuum that's on the pickup truck. Okay, it's a two-man operation. Someone is driving, someone else is collecting the litter. Be aware that the hose can be extended up to 50 feet long. These machines are fantastic for roadside litter, fence line litter. We sell many LP61Gs at landfills and other areas where you have a lot of wind-blown trash. Okay, approximate cost $25,000. All the pricing that is indicated here does not include applicable taxes and freight shipping from Montreal. The next slide shows the exact same machine, but as you see on the photo, this is a trailer mount. So again, the same unit, except this one is trailer mount, a little bit more costly at $28,000. A lot of people like the trailer mount because the litter is accumulating inside the container of the machine in a litter bag. And as you're doing a long run and these litter bags fill up, once they're full, the fact that you have nothing in your pickup truck allows you to toss and accumulate your litter bags in the truck as you're doing your run. Okay. The next machine that I'd like to show you is the LS175 sweeper at approximately 157,000. 1.75 cubic yards capacity. Notice on the photo that the sweeper is riding on a sidewalk. This is a 48-inch wide machine, and important for you to know that it is the only closed cabin tip to dump sweeper that is built in North America. We have a number of competitors on this machine, but what makes us different is that all of them, the machine is manufactured, built overseas, whereas ours is done here in Montreal. Okay. And again, as I said previously, no CDL required to operate. It comes with an optional 15-foot retractable wander hose. That example in a bus shelter or under a park bench. And you also have a 20-foot pressure washer that is commonly ordered with the machine, either to clean the unit or, of course, to use the pressure washer in different applications. Okay, unprecedented maintenance on the machine. You open the two doors and you can easily have access to the critical elements of the machine. So easy to get access to do maintenance on the unit. Need to know that in Q3 2023, we are going to come out with the LS125 electric at a different price point, of course, compared to the diesel model. This particular machine, what's interesting about it is that the battery packs that will be installed on this thing will give you up to 9-hour autonomy, and of course have an interesting GHG reduction of 45 tons of CO2 per year, based on the assumption that you're putting in about more or less 1,000 hours on the machine every year, which translates itself to about, I think, 20 hours a week or something like that. Okay. With regards to our all-terrain vehicles, here's the LN50 diesel, approximate cost 78,000. These machines typically will replace, as is often the case with our equipment, 6 to 8 manual litter pickers. You're not walking, you're driving. You can go all over the place with these machines. The maximum speed of these units is 12 miles per hour, which is not a lot, but feels like a lot when you're actually sitting in this small vehicle. You'll notice on the photo that the operator has a small overhead sun shield roof. And with regards to the boom, you have an up and down hydraulic, but not side to side. So the operator will easily raise and lower, and to go from one side to the other, a little bit of manual arm power is required to be able to move the boom, but it's very smooth and easy to do. Take note on the photo that the boom is currently plugged to an optional 48-inch wide vacuum head, which makes it really neat. The operator is basically just driving and he's collecting litter. Very often ordered when the machine is run on a sidewalk, in a parking lot, bike lane, any other hard surface. The vacuum head works very well. And of course, if the operator wants to all of a sudden collect something on grass, you can do it with the vacuum head. But if it's very bumpy and you don't want to damage the head, you can easily raise it, take the boom, unhook it, collect, and then reconnect to the vacuum head. The LR50 at 97,000, a little bit more costly, is exactly the same machine as the LN50. Exactly the same, aside from two important differences. One of them, you will notice that this machine has a complete rooftop windshield, and you can have optional vinyl doors included with this unit. This particular picture shows the machine in orange color. Actually, our standard color is white. This is just to illustrate that if you want any of our units with a special color, you can easily request that and we will do it. second difference between the LR50 and the LN50 is that with the LR50, in terms of moving around the boom, it is actually operated with a 6-position robotic joystick. So it is effortless. It's like playing a video game. You have a small joystick and you can move the boom in whichever direction you want. So this capability, combined to the closed cabin, explains the price difference between the LN50 diesel and the LR50 diesel. These two machines are now available electric. We kicked off our production line in late November last year. We already have quite a few orders on hand with this unit, again at a different price point because it's an electric vehicle. Be aware that, like the LS175, you will have up to 9-hour autonomy with our lithium NMC battery pack. 17 tons of CO2 per year savings based on approximately 1,000 hours of usage per year. Okay, and again, it is exactly the same machine as the diesel counterpart, except this one is electric. Okay. The LR50, once again, same thing as the LR50 diesel. And be aware that with regards to the fact that the machines are electric, in terms of the dB, those machines, the electric units, are a little bit less noisy than the diesel counterpart. What's very interesting about these machines is that when the fan is not on, when you're not collecting litter, the machines have zero sound. So much so that for safety purposes, we have some music or sound or jingle or whatever you want to call it, so that pedestrians know that a machine is approaching them. I've had the machine literally drive behind me, right behind my back, and I didn't know about it. They're completely silent, but we've made them very safe. In terms of the charging options for these machines, okay, so these units can be charged using a standard level 2 charger at 6 kilowatts, J1772. It takes about 5 hours to fully charge a battery from 0 to 100, so about 5 hours. You also have the option of plugging these machines to a standard wall socket. And so that too is possible, appreciated by customers that don't necessarily have the infrastructure at the moment for charging. The charging time is, much longer, as indicated on the slide, 15 to 18 hours. But be aware that some customers, actually quite a few, don't necessarily run the machine every single day. And so if that is your reality, then plugging it to the wall for a long time isn't necessarily the end of the world. Now, keep in mind, the 5 hours or the 15 to 18 hours mentioned, this is 0 to 100. If you've done your workday and your battery is still at 30%, it will take you less time to charge your battery than what is mentioned on this slide. The key benefits of our electric machines, obviously, for sustainability, the environment, CO2, so you have a savings there, which is the reason behind all of this, right? It's for the environment. The battery packs sincerely do offer up to 9-hour autonomy, and this is based on the assumption that while the machine is operating, the fan is on approximately 75% of the time. So it's a pretty reliable autonomy, as indicated in this document. As I mentioned before, you can charge this using a standard wall socket, which is good. And you have 1,500 complete cycles. And typically people that will buy this, unless it's very, very heavy usage, the battery pack is going to last the lifetime of the machine, okay? And so, which is fantastic because you're not going to have to, replace the battery packs along the way. You will get, because what happens after 8 years anyway, for most pieces of equipment, regardless of the fact if it was electric or not, just the wear and tear on the machine, you will probably need to replace the machine had it been diesel or electric. And so basically the point we're trying to convey here is that it is very unlikely you will need to replace the battery pack of this machine. You buy it, you get it, you'll use it all the way down. They're 99% recyclable, which is not to neglect. It's important to mention. Again, trying to be sensitive to anything we can do from an environmental point of view. We talked about the lower dB rating, excellent vacuum performance. If anything, the electric units are maybe just a little bit better than the diesel counterpart, but keep in mind we've been selling the diesel for years and years and years and have many, many happy customers with the machine. So in terms of vacuum, suction, performance, no problem there. The electric units will maybe have a slight edge over the diesel machines in environments where there are many slopes, inclines in the ground. So putting all of these elements together explains a little bit the price difference between the electric and the diesel machines. And so I wanted to keep my presentation relatively short to the point, and we've reached the last slide of my presentation with my contact info that's there. I will say in closing that if you want more information on these machines, visit our website. It is constructed in such a way that it is simple, user-friendly. Go on the website, find the machine you're interested in. When you click on it, it will bring you to the page of the machine. You can scroll down and you will see 3 buttons: product overview, that contains a lot of technical information of the machine, but in a visual way, so it's very well shown. You also have the ability of looking at or downloading, if you'd like, the 4-page brochure. And right in the middle, there's a button called Request a Quote. So if you would like to request a quote, go there, select the options you'd like to have on the machine, send that in, and we will reach back out to you and make sure that you provide that quote. And so it's really that simple. Our website is designed to be able to provide for you as much information as possible about our equipment in a way that's very simple and user-friendly. And of course, you can call me anytime you'd like. I'll be more than happy to speak with you. So that's the end of my presentation, and thank you for your time and attention.
All right, thanks very much, George. That was a really good overview. We're going to do Q&A in a little bit. Before we get to that, just a quick little bit of information. We do have 2 more webinars scheduled in this season before we break for the summer. So on April 6th, we'll be hearing from Johnson Controls. And on April 20th, we'll be doing a legal and procurement update. We do that annually, just anything that you need to know to make sure that your procurements stay legal. We will also be sending out a survey shortly to get some feedback on this webinar. That's really helpful to make sure that these are meeting the needs of our members. So with that, we will hand it over to Simon for the Q&A.
Thanks, Tana. Thank you, George, for a very robust presentation. We did have a couple of questions come through in our Q&A section here, and I probably have a couple of my own. So just for the people on the call, so do you guys provide level 2 chargers for your electric machines, or is that something that have to be sourced separately if required?
We have so basically the machine is provided with the charger on board and everything. You basically, it's like a car. You basically just plug to the infrastructure, the charger, to be able to feed the battery. I don't know if I've answered your question correctly or not.
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
And then another question that came through during your presentation, can you speak a little bit on the warranty for the electric machines, like a battery warranty or what comes along with it? And then the same for the gas and diesel machines, like what does the warranty structure look like for you guys?
Yeah, that's a good question. We have warranty documents on our equipment that we can provide, but in a nutshell, okay, all Madvac machines come with a 1-year parts and labor warranty. With regards to the battery packs, you actually bring up a good question, and I will not take the chance of giving a wrong answer, but I will say this, is that all our machines come with a 1-year parts and labor warranty on our equipment. The battery packs, and I'm happy you bring it up because I think it's important to mention, the NMC battery packs that we use are provided to us by a very, very well-known and established company called Zero Motorcycles, located in California. And why this is important is that Zero is the kind of like the Tesla of the motorcycle industry. If you take all the electric motorcycles that are out there in the world that are not by Zero, if you combine all of these machines, it doesn't match the quantity that Zero has worldwide. So it's really the Tesla of the motorcycle industry. And so what these guys do is they partner with OEMs such as our company in working with us and in designing a battery pack that fits the size of our equipment and that's able to provide the autonomy that we're presenting in this document relative to the 9-hour autonomy. And so it's an extremely established company that we're working with, and I'm going to let me verify that and communicate the answer to Tanner specific to the battery pack, but that's what I can say for now.
Okay, great, thank you. Next question was, I know, with everything that we have for Canoe and all of the different products we have, we know that supply chain is a bit of an issue right now, from everything from pens and paper to graders. So what's the turnaround time, for someone to order a unit like this, and how's supply chain affecting you guys?
Yeah, we're actually not that bad. I have to tell you that as soon as the pandemic started, our sales, believe it or not, started to go through the roof. And I think there's 2 reasons for that. And it's important for everyone to understand what I'm going to say relative to this. Number one, none of us were ready or accustomed for something like COVID. There was concern about litter. And, we didn't know right at the beginning of the pandemic what kind of risks and, people touching litter accidentally or whatever. And so I think that had a strong impact. The other thing that's very important that happened is that just before COVID, one of our competitors, Tennant, that had a machine called the ATLV 4300, announced that they were discontinuing production of that machine. Okay, and so the ATLV 4300 is a machine that competed against the LN50 and the LR50 that I previously showed. And so the fact that they pulled away from the market and we're alone, nobody else seems to have equipment like what we offer, combined to COVID, we had a record year last year, just to put things in perspective. In spite of that, with regards to supply chain, if I look at the way things are going now, if we receive a PO today for any one of our machines, I'll say there's a 90% probability that within 4 months, the machine will be at your doorstep. Before that, I would have said 2 to 3 months. So now we're at 4 months, which is really, really not bad, because I know of manufacturers right now that it's 8 months, a year, even a year and a half. So we're actually very proud of our ability to find a way to get everything we need to assemble and prepare and ship out our equipment.
So 4 months is pretty good, because I know of products that are 18 months to 2 years.
No, I know. So we're okay.
Yeah. Do you have? Is there anyone in Ontario currently using your electric products for a point of reference?
No, because the production line started in late November last year,
Okay.
as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. However, be aware that City of Toronto is one of our good customers, and we have engaged with them relative to this. City of Toronto buys from our company the LN50. We approached them at the beginning of the year, suggesting to them that they consider our LN50 electric machine. And long story short, at the beginning of May, if things conclude, which it seems will be the case, they are going to receive one of our machines that they are going to test and use for approximately 1 month to evaluate this piece of equipment, compare it to the diesel machine that they know already very, very well. Just to put things in perspective, 2 years ago, they ordered 21 LN50 diesel units. And so this evaluation will allow Toronto to gauge and compare. And pending a favorable outcome, they have communicated to us their interest in seriously moving forward and in starting to gradually replace their fleet with our electric machines. So we have that going on. I've had several conversations with different municipalities that would like to see the machine. And so we're in the process, as I said, we've just started ramping up all of this. And so we're going to have demo equipment available shortly, and hopefully we'll be able to accommodate everyone's need in wanting to have a look at the machine and kick the tires on it.
Okay, and then we have a couple more questions come through, the last couple here that I can see. I'll ask one quick question and then tie it into this one. So the pricing that you've indicated on your presentation here, is that inclusive of the discount structure through Canoe and Sourcewell, or is that just MSRP?
The pricing that you see that is shown is pricing that is MSRP.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the Sourcewell contract documents, the discount structure is 17% off MSRP based on the updated contract. And if someone's looking for a quote online or to go directly through you guys, how do they best take advantage of, getting the pricing structure through Canoe Sourcewell?
Okay, I'm sorry, I think I missed something, but okay. So basically, we start from the beginning. If you would like a quote, when you're going to go on our website, it's going to ask you if you are a Sourcewell member, okay? And so if you plan on buying through Canoe, you check off yes. And so we know that you are looking for contract pricing.
Okay, great. So it's a fairly seamless process. And then the last one is just clarification around that. Anything that would require a level 2 charging station, the municipality in this case would be on the hook to purchase that equipment themselves, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. So, and then just one thing that I will note on that. So through Canoe, we have multiple different contracts with EV charging station organizations. So Flow and ChargePoint, for example, through Canoe, and you can see all of that information on our website too. So if you were looking at purchasing one of these electric models a little further down the line, we do have partnerships in that space as well. So just some information for everyone that's on the call today.
Okay. Very good.
And I think that's it from my end. That's all of our questions answered, I believe, Tanner.
Yeah, I think we're good to wrap it up here. So thank you very much, George, for speaking with us. Thanks, Simon, for joining in.
No problem.
Hopefully we'll see some of you again at the next webinar in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, guys, just before we leave, something very, very important that I need to mention to you, and I'm so sorry about this. I actually gave you a wrong answer to the question you were asking before. The pricing that you see on this presentation is the approximate pricing if you buy through the Canoe Sourcewell contract. I prepared the presentation specific to today. And so this is why I'm really sorry about having given a wrong answer before.
That's okay.
So so the pricing shown is the approximate pricing if you buy it through Canoe Sourcewell.
Okay, great. Thanks, George. That clarifies that pretty easily.
Yeah, very important. And again, everyone, I apologize. I made a small mistake.
All good.
Okay.
All right. Thanks everybody for taking the time to join us. We'll catch you again next time.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.